So the commentary earlier was probably of a more positive tone than this one's going to be, because earlier we were talking about the top 5 players in the league. Today, or now, we're speaking on Derrick Rose. And of course, Derrick Rose, a former MVP, and he seemed like a guy who was a shoo-in to be a top 5 player for a long time in this league. And if you assumed that the Bulls were going to win a championship or two with him on the roster, I'd say it was a safe assumption. And then, of course, the injuries to his lower body, and he didn't play for basically 2 seasons. And now, Derrick Rose is currently averaging 13 points, or 14 points, 6 assists, which in and of itself is not terrible, but the percentage is 38% from the field, 15% from 3. Those are just really bad percentages. There's nothing else to say. That's really bad. Now, of course, we assume that Derrick Rose is not quote-unquote done with where he is in his career. It has not been established yet that he's simply just not that good anymore. He's definitely gonna figure out how to play with his reduced sense of athleticism and whatnot. But the thing with Derrick Rose, honestly, in my opinion at this point, if we go down his performances this season, he's had basically 2 games that were pretty normal for him about 3 years ago, or 4 years ago. He's had 2 games, one against the Thunder, one against the Pacers. Both games he had over 20 points, and he shot well from the field and all that. Every other game, he's around 10 to 15 points, and his percentages are bad. He's not hitting threes. It's eh. So honestly, I feel like at this time, Derrick Rose needs to realize it might be better to try to be a more efficient, 16, 17 point scorer. Because if we look at his shot attempts, he's taken 14 to 15, 16 shots a game. A couple games he shot over 20 times. He's not that player right now. Will he eventually get to that? To be honest, I don't know, but I think he's definitely not that right now. I think it would be better for Derrick Rose to, the 3-pointers, just shoot jump shots religiously for a moment and just really try to get to where he was at one point a few seasons ago with his 3-pointer. He was a decent 3-point shooter a couple seasons ago, and I think he needs to embrace that side of his game a bit more and just be a more efficient 17-point scorer rather than trying to score 25 points every game, because he's not that good anymore. I think part of this is also because of the Chicago Bulls. Apparently Hoiberg's been really wanting to push the pace, and I guess the Bulls haven't embraced it as much as he would like. They have won 4 games in a row. I think this Bulls team is in a bit of a flux period at the moment. I feel like they haven't completely embraced Jimmy Butler being the best player. They still haven't figured out the front court rotation. And I don't think Hoiberg's that great of a coach, I'll be honest. And with all this, the Bulls are still 8-3 on the season, so there you go. Honestly, I look at a point guard kind of like George Hill. Someone who's effective, but doesn't need to be the primary guy at all times. I feel like Derrick Rose can be better than George Hill, even with his injuries. I really feel like the perfect window for Derrick Rose right now is, first off, Chicago. Realize what you got in Jimmy Butler. But also, I think Derrick, try to be a 16, 17 point scorer, play off ball a bit more, and just embrace that side of your game. Because right now, trying to take 15, 16 shots a game, be the ball handler, that's just not Derrick Rose at this point. Do I think Derrick Rose is quote-unquote done? No, I think he's had a bad start to a season, and eventually he's going to realize that certain things just aren't going to work the way they once did. It's just how it's going to be. Anywho, that's that. Now, because, like I mentioned in the previous video, both videos today are going to have a little bit of a topic thing for the channel at the end. If you didn't see the previous video, basically the Celtics series is going to be summed up tomorrow in one big video about the whole NBA Finals. because we beat the Knicks. But also, I've mentioned before in the past, I want a live stream, and I could actually do it right now. My only apprehension towards it, I'll be honest, I don't want to turn on my stream and have 5 viewers. I don't want to be wasting my time when I could just be putting more time into YouTube, you know? So, I guess I'll put a straw poll in the description. It'll basically say, if I live streamed, would you watch it? And if you want to speak on that further in the comment section, that would be cool. So, that's it. Derrick Rose, Chicago Bulls.